Yo, this is OverlordBou, back with another ship review video, and today we'll be looking at the new Tier 7 British battlecruiser, the Renown'44. Now, the Renown'44 is the intermediate reward ship of the 11.11 Admiral Schreider Dockyard event, earnable after completing 19 stages. Now, she can be obtained for free simply by completing enough combat missions. So, during the Dockyard phases, there's always phases you can complete. And of course, with this particular ship, it takes 19, which you can get for free. You don't have to pay for the Renown to get it. You just have to grind out the missions, which are pretty simple and straightforward as they've been for all of the years, except for the Puerto Rico event or the Puerto Rico event. So yeah. But just like my other videos, I'll be going over my recommended captain build, module setup, followed by the ship stats, and finally, I'll give my thoughts about her performance overall. First up is the captain build and upgrade shown on the top right. You guys can pause the video at any time if you're interested in doing that. Again, if you can do this build if you like, or if you want to, you can build into a regular battleship tank build. Totally up to you though, so personal preference is your best friend there. Now let's move on to talking about the ship stats, starting with the armor and survivability. The armor will be shown on the top right. The bow is 26 millimeters, with the stern being also 26 millimeters, with a 29 millimeter deck and a 229 millimeter belt, armor belt. It has a 55,200 HP pool. It has a 13% torpedo belt protection and a turtleback citadel protection, that's pretty nice. Now the Renown's durability is surprisingly good, considering she's a battle cruiser. Her 26 millimeter bow / stern lets her bounce 14-inch guns, AP rounds, and shatters most light cruiser HE shells. Now, anything that does not punch through her armor can be quickly fixed up with her fast reloading repair party, having half of the cooldown of other BBs. With a good enough armor scheme and fast repair parties, the Renown'44 is quite tanky by Tier 7 battleship standards. Now, Tier 8 through 9 BBs, though, will still wreak havoc, but the Renown is extremely difficult for lower tier battleships to deal with, especially if she's rushing them. For the main armament, you have 3 twin 381mm / 42 guns with a 16.9 kilometer range, a 2.0 Sigma, a 25 second base reload, 45 second 180 turret traverse. You can fire 30 degrees off of the bow and 30 degrees off of the stern. The HE shell damage is 5350 with the 64 millimeter HE pen, a 34% fire chance, and a 77k HE DPM. Now the AP shell damage is 11,350 with a 26 millimeter overmatch, a 45 through 60 degree ricochet angle, and 163k AP DPM. Now it does have a battle cruiser dispersion, which will be showcased on the top right. The Renown'44 guns are almost identical to her Tier 6 counterpart, only having 1 second faster reload and slightly better Sigma. Though good for the original Tier 6 Renown, they are lacking in firepower and range by Tier 7 standards. She can still steal respectable damage, but her limited 6.9 kilometer range also severely hurts her. For the secondary armament, you have 10 twin 113 millimeter / 45 guns with a 1700 HE damage and a 19 millimeter HE pen with a 3-second reload time. It has a 5.6 kilometer range base and a 8.5 kilometer max if you build into it all the way. It has an 8% fire chance. Now with these, you do get an improved dispersion, same as the US secondary BBs and German battle cruisers. While Wargaming massively buffed her secondaries, they're still a niche weapon at best. The lack of range in HE pen prevents them from dealing significant damage, even at close range. So don't expect much direct damage unless you somehow catch a DD in range. Now, the fires will definitely be their main source of damage with these, though that requires you to fight at close range for extended periods. Now, interestingly enough, you do get 8 single launcher 53mm torpedoes, 4 per side, that do 15,867 damage with a 10 kilometer range, a 61 knot speed, and a 95 second reload. Now the round does get the wiggle torpedoes, are surprisingly useful. While they have a fixed mount, the torpedoes will turn after launching, giving her a wide firing angle. You do get 4 separate launchers per side, which also makes it difficult to incapacitate them all. And with 4 torpedoes and AP broadside, Renown can kill any BB with a quick drive-by if they do try to do so. The 10-kilometer range also gives her a decent kiting ability in niche situations. For anti-air defense, you have 3 inner plus 1 outer for the flak, with a range of 5.8 kilometers. The long DPS is 109, the mid being 130, and the near being 438. Despite impressive numbers, too much of the Renown's DPS is in her close range anti-air. Her anti-air cannot stop CV strikes though. She can deal notable damage to dive bombers. Now, DFA doesn't help much other than shooting down a few more planes after they launch their payload, so it's better just to take the hydroacoustics on her. For the anti-submarine capabilities, you get a maximum charges of 2, a number of depth charges per attack is 2, and the number of damage is 3,400, with a 40-second reload time and a range of 8 kilometers. Now, same as other Tier 7 battleships, the Renown does have hydro if submarine somehow gets close enough to be detected. Now, let's cover her maneuverability with a max speed of 29.9 knots and an 840 meter turning radius and a 14.3 second rudder shift time. The Renown is a very fast thanks to her speed boost, though her turning abilities are less than average. She can quickly reposition, even damage a few salvos at a longer range. Now, the mediocre turning radius isn't even much of a problem due to her hydro, giving her ample time to evade torpedoes. Concealment, you have a surface detection of 12.9 kilometers base and aerial being 10.3 kilometers base. Now, if you build into it all the way, which you should, is 11.5 kilometers surface detection and a 9.2 kilometers aerial detection. Now, along with the Yukon, the Renown'44 is the stealthiest Tier 7 battleship, even outspotting a few cruisers, which is pretty good. Her high speed and low detection lets her reposition to ambush unsuspecting cruisers. Her air detect is fairly poor, hampering her capabilities in a CV match, because if you're just perma-spotted, you're not going to be able to use it. It's kind of like the Incomparable in that way. If you're pretty much spotted by air all the time, you're going to be suffering. Now, finally, is the consumables that are available to her. She has a standard battleship damage control party, 50-second immunity period, and an 80-second reload for that. Now, you do get a fast reloading battleship repair party that heals 14 through 17% of the total HP. 4 charges base, 5 with the ERE, which I'd recommend you build into, and it has a 40-second reload. Now, you can either pick between a standard DFAA or standard hydro, but I would definitely pick the hydro. With the hydro, you do get 3 base charges, 4 kilometer surface detection, 3 kilometer torpedo detection with 100-second active time, and 120-second cooldown time for that. For the defensive A, you get 3 base charges, plus 50% continuous damage, and 8 plus 300% flak damage, with a 40-second active time and an 80-second reload time. Now, finally, you do get a standard engine boost with 3 base charges, plus 8% max speed, and with an improved acceleration. It has a 120-second active time and a 120-second reload time. Now, the Renown'44 notably has the fastest reloading repair party and access to hydro/DFAA, so just definitely take note of that there. Now, my overall impressions of the ship is the skill floor is above average, and the skill ceiling is about average. Now, for randoms, I'd say it's above average, and I'll go into that now. Now, the Renown'44 is the intermediate reward ship, earnable as part of the upcoming shorter Dockyard event. Now, she is the tankier, sorta brawler version of the British battle cruisers, combining a fast, durable hull with a long-range torpedoes. Unfortunately, her secondaries aren't very useful. Their limited range and low pen prevents them from dealing significant damage. Her torpedoes are very powerful though, but requires her to get extremely close to be effective. Now, the Renown's optimal range is between 0 through 7 kilometers and 11 through 14 kilometers. Either she is close enough to use secondary/torps, or she's far enough to somewhat dodge shell fire, so kind of take your pick there. Now, she does well positioning her on the flanks, aiming to catch broadside ships with the well-aimed shots. Now, the goal is to play for mid-late game, where your superior close combat abilities may prove a decisive advantage. For surviving early game, kiting away with guns and torpedoes for the early game play. Now, once ships start dying and teams start separating, this is the good time to consider getting close with your secondaries. Now, ideal targets include isolated ships like bow and BBs, cruisers, and even lone DDs who get too close to you. Once you find an opening, use your superior speed to yell at the enemy. Now, your armor and repair parties are sufficient to close the distance between equal tier ships, though against tier 8 and 9s, you definitely need support will be needed for sure. Now, the goal is to get under 7 kilometers where your secondaries can contribute fires. Against higher HP ships, a drive-by with torpedoes might be needed to finish them off. Now, once you break through your sight again, use your superior speed to flank the enemy and win the game. Now, keep in mind, though, brawling isn't always possible every match. In most games, you won't get an opportunity to get close enough for secondaries, or as you can see in this match I was just playing, you'll be run down by a tier 9 secondary ship, the Rupert, which, Lord, that was like so aggravating. Just trying to run away as fast as I can. It just shows that, like, from a tier 7 to tier 9 perspective, like, yeah, you can't. You just gotta run as fast as you can. You just gotta run for it. But that is perfectly fine, though. Her guns are good enough to punish most enemy ships, as you can see during the match. You can still tank for your enemy as well. Now, overall, I'd say the Renown'44 is a fun, unique ship to BB to play. She isn't the best BB, but for her quirks, she definitely gives an interesting play style that rewards players when played correctly. Now, for ranked, I'd say it's above average - good. It's still inferior to the Sinup and the Heinrich, but has potential due to her high speed and accurate guns. And for operations, I say it's pretty decent. She lacks the damage output of other tier 7 BBs, even when factoring secondaries. That being said, though, she does shine in specific scenarios such as Nari and Killer Whale, where her torpedoes and secondaries can wreck lesser ships. Now, again, this ship is going to be available to get in the upcoming shorter Dockyard event in the patch 11.11 and is earnable after completing 19 stages. Now, you don't have to pay for this ship at all. It's free. You just have to grind the missions. The only way you would actually be paying for this ship is if you paid for the levels of the Dockyard, which you don't have to if you're really interested in this ship. So the fact that this ship is a free ship and it's not terrible is really, really surprising. Most ships that are normally in the Dockyard are either ones that have been out before, or there are ships that have been around like for a while. For instance, I believe there was one where the Grass Bay was given out during it. So if you guys could correct me on that if I'm wrong, I would appreciate that. But again, I do thank y'all for watching this video. But now at this point, I don't have any more stat information about the ship. So we'll just be watching the replay and just going over it. Now, in this particular match, I tried to be a little bit aggressive in the beginning, and I got absolutely punished by that Rupert. If it wasn't for my teammates that were on the side, I would have definitely died. He was very smart in how he engaged me. Pretty much any time I showed him even a slight broadside trying to get my guns off or my torpedoes, he instantly was punishing it. Instantly. So he definitely knew what he was doing in that regard. But he still decided to yellow up, and he got punished for it, which was very nice in the end. And also right here, that was a nice slap. I did aim a little bit too low, though. I was a little bit greedy. I'll admit that. I was a little bit greedy. I deserved that. I deserve to be punished for that. Like, and I tell people all the time that it's better just to go for the safe shot. Aim a teensy bit higher where you know the shots are going to hit, and not try to go for that citadel all the time. Because you never know if your shot's going to drop or if you're just aiming a little bit off, which I did there. It's just better to be safe than sorry. Just take the surefire damage than trying to get the risky citadels, because you can't always get them. So it's kind of a disaster in that regard. Now, sadly, as you can see, I am doing pretty decent in this match, even though most of it I was kind of just running away like a mad lad trying not to die to the Rupert, which was a very terrifying thing. I was definitely not enjoying my time during that whole match. Yeah, I wasn't. No. I was just suffering the whole time, just wishing that he would somehow eat my torp. But, you know, he was a god and he dodged all my torps, and I was an idiot and I didn't know how to launch him properly. Because we all know that I am a terrible torpedoist. It is my weakness for sure. I am not very good at the torpedo launches. Now, in the end here, I did do my best to survive as long as I can. I did do pretty decently in the end there, but I did have 2 pink players on the team, so in the end, I wasn't expecting too much. I did do 137,000 damage, though, and for being a tier 9, for that being a tier 9 match, I feel like that was pretty impressive. Since being up tiered in a tier 9, I think I did really, really well this match for what I was put up against. I still made a decent amount of credits with no modifiers, so I was pretty happy with that. Now, in this particular match, it's going to be a tier 8 matchup. I didn't do as well in this one as the last one, but I wanted to include this one because something really funny happened, which includes submarines that I wanted to just, you know, show, because you know how much I love killing submarines, you know. It's so much fun. I just love it. It's just so much fun killing submarines. If anybody else just, like, you know, when you just kill like a CV, you know that feeling it gets, like, oh, that's just really satisfactory kill. Like that's how I feel when I kill subs. It's just such a nice feeling, you know. I don't know if anybody else gets that. If you guys do, I would definitely let me down in the comments down below. I would definitely appreciate it if you guys. I want you guys to tell me. Would you guys, if anyone's still watching and you want to answer this question, if you guys could kill a CV or a sub, which one feels better to kill? Is it more satisfying to kill a submarine to you guys, or is it more satisfying to kill a CV? Because at this point, I feel really satisfied when I just depth charge the living hell out of subs for some reason. Now, it's still nice to kill CVs, right? It's not a bad feeling. I'm not saying it's bad, but I feel like I enjoy more killing submarines than I do CVs. But again, it's like, I don't know. I enjoy killing both about equal. It's pretty equal. Like the terms of wanting to kill them and, like, you know, like of actually killing them, it's about equal. It's very, very, very close in terms of like enjoyment out of killing them. It's a very close venture. But anywho, let us just move on from that discussion anyway. Now, in this particular match, I did make an error in what I was doing, but I was trying to meme because I really wanted to do, you'll see what I mean in a little bit. You'll see when I realize what's going on. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm like, ooh, hello. Because I was like, wait a minute, this ship's got hydro. I was like, ooh, tasty, tasty, tasty. As you can see, I'm like, I just activate the engine boost. I do the horn. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, come to daddy. I just wanted to go over there and just slap the living crap out of those submarines. Because it feels so nice too. It's like, it's such a nice feeling. Now, I did have to engage the DD here. I really didn't want to fight him. I was hoping that he would be like still behind the island. But he was being a little bit confident since the submarines were nearby. He even started to shoot me too, I believe. Yeah, he did, which was really weird. I didn't like, he could have easily just gone dark, but he was like, nah, I'm just gonna shoot. And look who decides to pop up at the corner. Well, well, well. We have ourselves a little submarine. That's one of them. Now, I do get a direct hit on him. I do get a direct hit with that one. I don't know if I hit the second one. Did I hit the second one? No, I didn't. He was still moving forward. Because I saw the ping at the island. It was kind of worried that I missed it. But yep, he is right there too. So he's kind of permanent. I don't even know what's spotting him at this point, really. Oh, never mind. I think it was the airplane. Oh, the fighter was. As you can see, there's one submarine, and I dodged that torp set right there. But wait, there's another one. It's a disaster. Now that submarine died. He's dead. So, and then there's the second submarine. It was just a complete disaster. Now, I thought for sure he was going to start moving forward, but I was pretty dumb, and I also got slapped by the battleship there, which was saying I was kind of dumb in that regard. Now, as you can see here, if you are trying to dodge torpedoes from a submarine or something when they have to ping you, normally if you're going in a kiting angle away from them, you want to kind of show a little side against the torps as they're moving up, and then when they're about to stop, like they're homing, you want to slow down and turn hard away from them, and you'll dodge them like 90% of the time. As long as you do that, you want to slow down and do a hard turn to dodge them. Now, I believe for battleships, if they have one ping on you, the range for it should be about 3 kilometers away where they stop homing, or it's around 3 kilometers, I believe, is where they stop homing. But if they have a double ping on you, they stop homing at 1.5 kilometers away from you, as for a reference for battleships. Because I was testing this out in a training room. For cruisers, I believe it's 2 kilometers, then 1 kilometer. For DDs, it's like, for DDs, it's kind of hard for that one. I think it's like 1 kilometer, then 0.5 maybe. And then for sub, it's literally point blank, and CVs, I don't remember too much on that, so I apologize for not having those exact numbers. If anyone has that information and would love to share it with the rest of the people that watch this video, definitely put it down in the comments. I would appreciate if you guys could do that. If you don't know, it's perfectly fine. It's something that I had to test out in a training room to figure it out, but it's probably in a dev blog somewhere. It's somewhere. We'll just have to figure it out sooner or later, I guess. But yeah, pretty much for the rest of this match, oh wait, never mind. There's something interesting else that happens. The boring part is later in the thing where I kind of try to run down the CV, which was kind of a disaster. I was very greeter. It is kind of a disaster, bro. The biggest thing ever, dude. But no, I do appreciate you guys, though. It does mean a lot, you guys watching my videos. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I don't know. I don't know. It's a disaster. It's the biggest disaster ever. The biggest disaster ever. But anyway, as you guys can see, I found my next target. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. We found our next target. Now, remember, I did say in the video... I gotta take a sip real quick. 1 second. Love my juice. I remember I was saying earlier how you were able to push up the same tier, which is pretty much what I'm doing here. I'm just going to shove myself right into this G-Sen's face. And then I'm going to try to deal with the other battleship that's beside him, too. Now, I'm not sure why he showed me so much broadside. I think he was just trying to get a good salvo. But as you can see here, I do a nice little turn there, and he ricochets. Very nice, very nice. And with that dispersion, you can pretty much tell this is going to be a secondary build, because that dispersion was really, really bad. It could just be the Gneisenau's just dispersion overall, but I feel like with that kind of dispersion, he has like a full secondary, so like in the module slot, and then he has the captain's skill, maybe. But we'll have to see whenever he gets closer. Now, during this engagement, I do make an error, though. Now, usually what my saying is for people is keep shooting the target until it's dead, right? You shoot it until it's dead. So when I shot this with my front guns, I then shot the back gun when I didn't need to, but I wanted to make sure he was dead, right? I just wanted to make sure. So at this point, I could have saved the rear salvo to shoot the other battleship. Man, I wasn't too happy about that. I was pretty annoyed. I was like, damn, I could have got another kill. But it's usually the saying is you just want to confirm the kill. And since the other ship was so low and my team was all right there, I didn't think it was super necessary for me to shoot it. But I want to just make sure the guys that are dead, because, you know, the guys now also has torpedoes. It's definitely not a ship you just want to allow get that close to you. So it's kind of a disaster. But yep, now this is kind of the boring bit. Oh, Lord. Lord, dude. This is definitely it's kind of a disaster, bro, because at this point it's just me trying to run down their ships that are just off the map. So it's kind of a disaster at this point. That's some good stuff. It's delicious. But no, I do appreciate you guys. It does mean a lot. And I do think the Renown'44 is definitely a ship that you should definitely get. It's a free ship. You really don't have to pay anything except playing the game. And if you're playing the game during Christmas, you're naturally going to be going down the missions anyway. So this ship is literally something that you're going to get anyway, even if you don't, like, even if you aren't focusing on the missions, you're going to be playing the game. If you are playing the game during the Christmas season or the holidays, you will 100% get the ship anyway. So you really don't have to do much. For me, since I am a completionist and I love getting things, I also sucked at that shot. Disaster. I am too low. I suck ass. If you're just playing the game during the holidays, you're going to get this ship no matter what. The missions aren't really like ever since the Puerto Rico event or the Puerto Rico incident or whatever you want to call it. Ever since then, everything's been pretty straightforward with their missions. They've always been about the same difficulty. They haven't really increased their difficulty or lowered it. It's about the same ever since then with all the dockyards. So I don't feel like this ship is going to be very hard to get. It's going to be pretty easy. You don't have to pay for it. You just have to just do a normal grind the missions. Also, the dockyard there'll also be a new dockyard as well, which is always very nice. I was very pleased with the battle pass. I did well, and I did get the premium battle pass. And I didn't play every day of this month. I played pretty much every day except for like 2 or 3. Sorry, not for the month, for the patch. For the patch, I played pretty much every day except for like 2 or 3 days I took days off. I'm at like level 88, I believe, for the Dockyard event. So pretty much it's level 50, and then you can go past that. And then if you get the premium battle pass, you get extra missions. I'm at level 88, or I should be at level 88 or maybe 90 by the time it's done. That's 40 extra levels that you can get in the battle pass. And there are set rewards, like for each level you go past it, there's like a set reward that you continuously get. So I got like 40,000 coal, 40,000 rare resource containers, 40 regular resource containers, and like 40 signal containers. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot. And I don't remember exactly what this battle pass is giving out, like the one coming in December, but I know it's not going to be a ship. I know that for sure, but I believe they're giving out, I believe it's Santa containers, but someone can prove me wrong whenever they see this video and they can say, okay, it was this. And I was like, okay, fine, that's what it is. Because I don't remember. Again, I'm kind of a klutz, and I also have a bad memory, so I don't remember everything. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, in this match, it wasn't. Oh, by the way, that 1.2 million, that I earned 1 million strictly from a mission. So don't be alarmed. I earned that 1 million from a mission, just so you guys know. I was like, huh. I also was curious why it happened too, so it's also curious during that. But yep, I didn't do as well as the previous match, but it is what it is. But yep, that's the end of the video. If you guys have any questions or concerns, definitely leave them in the comments down below. But yep, this is OverlordBou. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to y'all later.